Saturday, everyone. If you're enjoying your start of your weekend so far. This week, we'll get to the chert in a few minutes, but we're going to start with something different. So this is, I believe, so these are some rocks that have gone through stage 3. So they're not, they should be fully smoothed out and everything and ready to move through the polishing process at this point. So we're going to dump them out and see what we've got. All right. So normally I've got about 12 pounds in here when we're looking at stuff. This week, because we're looking at some stuff going through stage 3, I usually do that in the smaller tumblers, so they hold about 3 pounds of material instead of the normal 12. Clean everything off first, and then we'll move it over. All right, there we go. So we've got our first viewer. Hello and welcome. So we are looking at, this is called Petersburg Granite. It's from Petersburg, Virginia, Richmond, Virginia area. So let's move that out of the way. We'll just focus on these rocks for now. All right, let's move the camera down. Okay, there we go. So let's get our lighting. Alrighty, so these rocks have been through weeks and weeks of stage 1, and then moved on to stage 2, and now they finished up stage 3. So we're going to look at them, make sure everything's looking good, and then move them along to the polishing stage. And I have some examples here. So Petersburg Granite, where did I put them? All right, so before it tumbles, or before I tumbled it, this is what it looked like. So it's got these neat little bits that sparkle, which is always really cool. So this is very strange. I only have 8 viewers. Huh. All right, 13. There we go. All right, so this is a piece of raw Petersburg granite. So it has these little bits that sparkle that you can see. Let's zoom in. But it's pretty rough. So here's one piece that I cut and hand polished. And so this is what it'll eventually look like and once it's all said and done. Oh, there we go. Did I get my camera to focus? So that's what we'll eventually be looking at. So right now we're going through rocks that have gone through stage 3. So let's see. So one of the issues with granite is that it's made up of a bunch of different minerals, and those minerals often have different hardness. So you can see in some spots it wears differently. So you don't get that perfectly smooth finish unless you just do it by hand. But let's look in here. So some of this, so the colors that you see over here, so this is probably iron staining. Is what's causing some of that yellow. But it's made up of a few different minerals. Some of them are clear, some of them are like the dark color that obviously isn't clear. This one's coming along pretty well. So it'll be interesting in a minute or two to see what that looks like dry. So here's another large piece. This one's pretty flat, and it has less of that staining from iron to it. Yeah, so that's a pretty good one. All right, so here you can see there's less of the black material. This one feels much smoother. There are fewer spots that have kind of worn separately or differently, but it does have this big stained area here. So we'll hold on to that one. And then this one is a little bit different. So it's more stained. It's a different kind of ratio of the various materials, which is one of the cool things about granite. Each piece is going to be very unique. All right, so let's look at some of these small ones. That one's kind of cute. Much more of the black material here, but you can see that there's some sparkle to it. And we'll take out these smaller ones, because we're going to come back to these rocks once they've dried off a bit and see what they look like. So these smaller ones are pretty cool. So while those dry off, we'll move on to our next rocks. So these have gone through stage 2 in my tumbler. So let's see, we'll move our camera back up to get the bucket out so that I can catch the water. Alrighty, so there's our bucket. I'll zoom back out. Okay, so these are a little bit different. So stage 2, we're using 220 grit. So these are creek rocks that I find here in Elkton, Virginia. So they're a really interesting mix of all sorts of different types of rocks. So let's clean it off a bit. Our lighting's not great. Let me move my camera. All right. Well, we only need to be here for a second. So we'll clean them off. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to throw them in the comments. So these have gone through stage 2 now. All right, so it's pretty clean. Let's see. All right. So now let's put it back in our, give it a shake, and put it back over here. We'll pull this over. Okay. So like I was saying a minute ago, there are a few different types of rocks here, a few different things going on. First of all, we have one of my favorites from this set. It's this rock here. All right, so it's quartz, mostly. The crunchy rock sound, yeah, it is really cool. So you might be able to, if you're talking about the background noise, that's probably a tumbler that's running, the 12-pound one. So it's mostly milky quartz here, but it's got these cool little bits of epidote and some sort of red. So that'll look really cool when it's polished. I actually have a piece. If you've watched before, you may have seen this. So this piece, I cut and polished by hand, and it came from the same rock. So you can see the green, and then the milky white quartz, and then some red jasper. So hopefully once this one's all polished, it will have a pretty similar appearance to it. Obviously it'll be more milky quartz ratio, but should still look pretty similar. All right, so let's take a look at these other rocks now. If I can get my camera there. Alrighty. So these, a lot of them are going to have epidote. Oh, thanks, Robin. So this one is really cool. Yeah, so right now it's wet, so as they dry off, they will look less smooth because they haven't polished. But eventually it'll be polished and will look very nice and smooth. So it's got little hints of other types of, like there's that little bit of red. And over here you've got this whole pattern through it. So that's a cool one. Here, this one's pretty small, but I always like when there's bits of quartz. And so most of these came from a creek in Elkton, which is pretty close to where I live. So this one's really neat. I have no idea what it is, but it has all sorts of color to it. Hey, Ghost. It looks like maybe there's some quartz in there. Let's see, if you look. Yeah. So that kind of bluish color, I think is maybe actually quartz. Let's see. So these creek rocks don't always do well, so I had to put a bunch of them in a tumbler and just pick out the best. But these all seem to be holding up really well. And these have gone through stage 2 now. So this one has these cute little holes that have filled in with like a yellow material. And then lots of green, of course. So we're in a green belt, I guess. So there you can tell it's definitely quartz, the yellow. It's pretty standard, like yellowish quartz. Which I have lots of yellow quartz by itself. Makes this kind of ugly. I think they're pretty ugly by themselves. So here's a piece that's actually polished of just the yellow quartz. Not the prettiest, but I think it'll look neat here where it's going to be inside of this matrix of polished greenstone. So, next up. All right. So we already looked at this one. Here we go. Some more. This came from the same rock as this. I just cut it in half. There's that kind of unfortunate fracture running there through there, and it wasn't that bad when I put it in, so it must have cracked during the tumbling process. But this will be pretty cool when it's done. Ooh, I love mango. Let's see. So here's another piece that came off of that same rock. So it came from the same rock as this one. So it's got this kind of, and it's an interesting stained fracture patterns. So how many times do I run? So initially it'll run through a rough 80 grit just to shape it. And I might do that. If it's something that came from like a river or a creek, then it's probably going to be pretty well shaped, like pretty rounded, just naturally. So those will probably go through rough grit 1 to maybe 3 weeks. If it's something I dug out of the ground, that might take 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks just to get the shape correct. But then after that, it does a week in a medium grit, a week in a fine grit, and then a week in the polish. And then they're finished. So here we've got more of those green stones. This one's got some slightly different stuff. Like the yellow is a little bit different color. Maybe some sort of epidote. But yeah, I have a lot of chert that I've been tumbling lately that large pieces can take. I have some that have been in there for 2 or 3 months and are still not the shape that I want them. Yeah, here's another piece of that kind of green. I really like the way this one has a different pattern to it, but still has kind of the same colors. Here's one. I think I like this one just because it's got some blue, and I don't see much blue locally. So you can see there. I feel like I'm constantly playing with the lights. Yeah, this one, it's kind of dark, unfortunately, the colors, but I think it'll be really pretty when it's done. If I hold it up. little bit more. The white stones. So those are actually pieces of ceramic. They're just filler to make sure that the rocks aren't just banging into each other too hard. So here's a piece. It's just like a teeny tiny sliver. Kind of surprised it didn't break in the process. But this is another one that it's like a remnant from the same rock that I made, and this one's fully polished. So this is one that, it's a piece of epidote that I cut and polished. I would say by hand, but I used machines to do it. I didn't tumble it. So these came from the same rock, you can tell. So this one will shine similarly. Let's see, we've got this big one. The Fat Rat Plays. I'm not sure. This one's got some cool patterns to it. It's like leopard print, but different colors. That one's definitely pretty cool. All right. Here. Do I have a favorite rock? Let's see. My favorite. So I really like, so this is one that I tumbled. It's epidote and quartz. And then there's some blue, probably metabasalt in there. I really like, and it's nothing like special or rare, but it's got some really cool patterns and cool colors. So I really like that one. And then, let's see, my other favorites. So these two used to be one rock, and I'll show you. So I've got this one, and then this one. And they look a little bit to me like kind of an impressionist painting. If you look at it, you can see like, so we've got water and then kind of land. I like when I feel like I can kind of see something in it. It's kind of like looking at clouds and seeing shapes or animals or whatever. So let's finish up with these, and then we can move on to the next batch of rocks. So here we've got some more epidote. It's got this cool little bit of red. Yeah, those two, it was one rock, and it had a little crack in it, and it broke while I was tumbling it. So it came out as two. But yeah, that's why they look like they fit together, because they used to be the same rock. Here's some blue. This one I'm a little bit, it feels a little porous, which sometimes means it won't polish very well. So I'm a little bit worried about this rock, but we'll see how it does. Let's see. So then we got this, which is kind of cool. Let's see. All right. So let's get my bucket back out so we can dump some stuff in without making too much of a mess. So these just finished a week of the first stage, so the rough stage. So they won't all be perfect. Let's see. So they're a mix of the different types of rocks that we've been looking at today. So some are that Petersburg granite and some are creek rocks. So let's see, we'll get it nice and clean. And then this is a different type of granite that I found in Nelson County, Virginia. I'll talk about it in a second once this is clean. Okay, that should be good. So let's swap. All right. Set my bucket aside, and we'll get back to looking at these. You want to eat it? I wouldn't recommend eating them, but I mean, yeah, I wouldn't recommend eating them. I'll just leave it there. Alrighty. So now let's see. I may have had either too many rocks or put too much grit in this because some of it didn't get used up, but that's all right. So here's the first of our green rocks. Is Ghost out there? Usually he's here by now. All right. Yes, geology is fun. So here we've got, it's a pretty green rock. You can see there's some quartz in there. And then this one's got kind of like a matrix of dots, different colors, which is really cool. So here is a piece of quartzite. Feels like it's about ready for the next stage. So this is not the prettiest. It'll come out okay sometimes. Got a few pieces I can show you over here. Should have written down what all was in there so I could be ready with these. So on this rock, yes, the white parts that look like milky clouds are quartz. The white dots, I'm not so sure of. So I have amethyst. Let's see. Got a couple of pieces that are polished. So most of my rocks I found myself. The amethyst I did not. So these were rough rocks that my grandmother purchased, and I tumbled them. These have amethyst in them. This has a really cool little like agate thing going on up at the top. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So I do have amethyst. It's not something that I collected myself. I know down at Amelia's Courthouse here in Virginia, there are some areas where you can find amethyst, but I've never found any. So this will probably look like this one when it's done. Hey, Fort Green's best friend. So these will look pretty similar. So this is quartzite. It's like a quartzy material, but it's more grainy. So let's see. Here is more of our Petersburg granite. This one, I was kind of hoping it would just crack, like break along these lines. Have I ever tried Indonesian rocks, the bacon type? No, I haven't, not that I know of. So here's a neat blue. Fluorite is really cool. I have some fluorite upstairs. Didn't bring any down with me. Need more water. I've got a giant bucket of water sitting next to me that I use to clean off. Prince Rupert's drop. So that's something I'd never heard of until earlier this week, and it's really weird that you mention it. So I don't do any sort of glass work, so no, but it's a really interesting thing, you know, whatever. I don't know what you'd call it. Yeah, so this is a pretty cool. I like that it's got this like band of yellow quartz running through in between the bits of some sort of epidote. Let's see. So this red one is a mystery to me. I don't really know what it is, but it's got these homework. have fun with your homework. It's got these bits of quartz in it, and then so like there's this little like white quartz up here too. So this one will be cool to see what it looks like when it finishes, since it's totally new to me. And here we've got more of our Petersburg granite. This rock is really soft, so it's already done. So it's got this kind of cloudy colors. Hi, Lima. Yeah, go ahead, ask away. Yeah, go ahead, Lima, Mika. The rarest rock, I don't really have anything that's rare per se. And I have some stuff that's from pretty far away. Has Been Hotel? Yeah, of course. Well, I don't know why I say of course. But yes, the cartoon series. So I have some, it's called like, I think it's Mookite. Mookite. Hey, sir. So this, it's not rare really, but it's from far away. You know, I don't know. I've really only seen one episode. It's on my to-do list. So these came from Australia. So that's the closest thing I have to rare. This is from, I think it's Mexican crazy lace agate. These are really pretty. But most of my rocks I collect locally, so I'll take my dog out on walks through the forest here. So I live really close to the National Forest, and you're allowed to kind of collect a reasonable amount of rocks or other material for personal use. So this is one, it's from Nelson County. It's pretty difficult to get a nice polish on, but I'll try. Got a bunch of it over here. So granite is difficult to polish. So it's made up of a bunch of different types of minerals, and some of them are usually harder than others. So sometimes you can get a nice even polish on it, like this one. I love, one of the things on my bucket list is, my gosh, why am I blanking on it? The type of chert that they have in Missouri. It's the state rock. My gosh, this is embarrassing that I've forgotten. Ozarks. They call it Mozarkite. In the Missouri Ozarks, you can get this really, really pretty type of chert. So yeah, so this is more of that kind of granite that I find in Nelson County. Actually, I have a video where I collected all that, walking with my dog. So, I think we've gone through, oh, we've still got this one. Oh, and the little cheetah one that we haven't talked about. All right, so let's see. Mozarkite, yes, it is so pretty. I really want to get some. And I have family out in Missouri, so maybe someday I'll go out and just collect some myself. So this one has a really cool like cheetah pattern, but it's obviously not cheetah color. And then this one is not quite ready. You can see there's still pretty serious cracks through it. So these I'm gonna load back up into the little barrel so that I can keep them separate, since they still have their rough grit on them in some spots. And then I'll go get my big barrel. So this one's going to be a bit of an experiment that you all get to do with me. So, rocks that have cracks in them, not crack rocks. So this is, oh, you sound like me, Christian. So this is my 12-pound barrel. It tumbled for most of this week without any water in it, which was a mistake. So I don't know how well anything in here tumbled, so we're gonna find out. But it's chert and some quartz. So let's see. Trying to figure out the best way to do this. Can't go anywhere with you without ending up with rocks in your pockets from your wife and kids. Yeah. What type of rocks do you have where you live, Christian? Do you know? All right. What about you, Potato? What type of rocks do you collect? I feel really weird calling someone Potato. All right. So this is going to be kind of messy. All right. So I don't know how well this actually polished. All right. So let's move this out of the way. Do this cord. Here's our bucket again. And we'll dump everything in. Wish me luck. We gotta go around. Yeah, so the grit did not get used up very well this week. That's unfortunate. Yes, rock soup. I've never forgotten to put water in. It's like crusted on there. Ooh, boy. So my biggest concern is that without water, these may have been hitting each other pretty hard and cracked. Shout out, please. Samia Masood. Although some of these actually do feel like they made some progress. So normally this barrel just has cherts. Chert Mala 2. Jamie Lynn Turner, hello. So normally I only have chert in this barrel, but I didn't have time to collect extra chert. So I filled it with a bunch of quartz to see what would happen. So there's different types of pink rocks. There's definitely pink quartz, or pink granite. Pink can be from iron staining. I only know English. Do I not do shout-outs? No, I do. Fort Green's best friend, Amir Latif. I'll do my best to say names as they pop up. Boy, I've never had this much trouble cleaning these off before. Ooh, this is nice. This might be a nice chert, or a nice quartz. All right, so what I think I'm gonna do this time, I'm just gonna put the rocks here, and then dump water on it. So I collect them, I make things with them. I make some necklaces sometimes. Let's see. I cut them and will polish them, so. Let's see. Here's a few examples. So this is really cool, like laced agate. So I cut it into the shape and then polished it. Yeah, I'm just gonna dump water on them. This one's pretty cool. It's just like a mudstone that I cut and polished. And I don't know what this green thing is. Maybe some sort of serpentine. But I got it when I was in Maryland, and I cut the rock and polished it. So, let's see. There we go. All right, so let's start going through and see how all these rocks came out this week. Again, this is the first time I've ever had this issue. I spent most of the week without water in there. So let's see. So this is Chert. Let's see. I need my spray bottle. All right, 1 second. So this Chert all comes from Rockingham County, Virginia, for the most part. But Chert's pretty ubiquitous. You can find it all over the place. So here is our first piece. So this one you can see has some holes. So the way these all get their shape is just from rolling with grit that grinds them down in a barrel with water, if I do it correctly. I do have some live videos where I've cut or polished rocks that you can watch, and some other videos on my channel. So this one is really cool. Let me pull my chair back up. Right. So we've got some black, then bentonite. Benitoite. Where do you get that? Or what is that? Somerville. So it's got some really cool patterns. And it has this really cool band of something running through the center. Yeah. So this one I'm really excited to see. It still needs a couple more weeks. So let's see. So this is my favorite one in here. Or one of maybe two of my favorites. So this is my favorite just for this. So I love these banded Chert. So this one, I'm super excited to see how it turns out in the end. All right, so we'll move it over there. Looks like a planet. Let's see. This one's coming along really well. Let's see if I can scrape off. So this is kind of a traditional Chert. So it's got that dark color to it. You can still see a little bit of the limestone along the edges. So yeah, this one's definitely good so far. So far, so good. So this one is quartz that I added in. If I can get the... So this one actually has some pink to it. So it's like a yellow quartz, but up here at the top, it starts turning into this neat pink. This one's pretty cool. I wish I could get all that grit off. I still can't believe I forgot water. Oh, I feel like an idiot. All right, I'll put that over there. Let's move on to, let's see. Here's one that feels like it's about ready. So this I picked up in Richmond as well. It's some sort of quartz. It's got this neat pinkish orange. Hi, your weird neighbor, yes. So yeah, I like this one. This one will be good. It's only been in here a week, so it's not anywhere near done shaping. Let's see if I can get this one. This is my other favorite banded Chert. I'm gonna have water all over the floor, but I want to see this band. Okay, so this I collected. There's a lake in my neighborhood, man-made lake. When the water's low, I'll look and see what rocks are exposed, and I'll pick some up. So this one's got a really cool banding pattern to it. So I've never sold any of them. I mean, someday maybe I will. Right now it's just kind of a hobby. But it's certainly, I mean, I guess there are people that would be willing to buy some of this. You want all the rocks? You are more than welcome to some of them. So this one's really cool. I love this color. Utah does have really cool rocks. All right, so that side's just gonna have to have grit on it. But over here, we've got these. I love when there are like spider webs running through it. So this is Chert. It's from Rockingham County, Virginia. This one has a really cool bluish. So it's a blue color, but then it turns gray, and it's got these red lines running through it. Kit Kat official, yeah. So this, it's a few different colors. It's like I'd call it a steel blue maybe. Wood carving is really cool. I could see that being something difficult to do in college. I don't know that they would let you do it in the dorms. So it's grit that, because I forgot to put water in the tumbler, turned into this thick kind of cement. So I'm gonna have to clean it off really well before the next stage. So here's a piece of quartz. Yeah, so normally the tumbler will have water in it, and somehow I just forgot to put water in until the very end. So it had water in it for like maybe a day. You can see the quartz on this side. It looks pretty good. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Yes, I have a brush right over here. I was using it earlier this morning for something. Where did I put it? I can't believe I didn't think of the brush. All right, maybe I'll use the brush in a minute. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I'm surrounded by like buckets and buckets of rocks. All right, so here's our brush. Let's see. It's one of those, I guess it's brass. Yeah, so that one's got too much on it. Let's see. Here's another quartz. Even with the brush, it's on pretty thick. Yeah. All right, so this rock here, this side is still very kind of porous. So I don't think they're broken, and they were kind of covered in cracks when they went in, so I don't think I messed anything up too badly. So this one looks really cool on this side. There's still some cracks that need to be smoothed out. This side is taking a while, so at least when it's porous like this, it grinds away much faster. So over here where it's smoothed out, it tends to be, the rock tends to have a bit more structure to it and not as many issues. Yeah, in a way they are all broken. So this one did break, but it's got this kind of cool pattern, lined pattern to it. Yeah, absolutely. Just because it's broken doesn't mean it's, you know, not any good. So this one's, it's pretty cool. Yeah. So that one needs more time. All these probably need more time. Ooh, here we go. So here is another chunk of the quartz. So this, when it's polished, will look really cool. It'll have, hopefully it will finish. I'll be able to keep this pink part because it grinds down, so it gets smaller and smaller each week. But this shouldn't need too much more time. Yes, candy rocks. Yum, yum, yum. Ooh. This is one. I don't know when to give up on this one. It's been in here probably 2 months. So it's really pretty in some spots, but it's got these holes up here. And then it's got this deep hole. I may just move it on. That would be really awesome if I found gold, especially if I found enough that I could just like retire and do whatever I want. That would be the dream. This black one is finally making some progress. Yeah, this is a pretty cool one. I don't know what that one is. I actually have some that's polished that I was looking at earlier today. It's really frustrating to deal with. No, I've never found gold because it cracks so easily, but it looks really cool when it's polished. So hopefully that one will turn out well. Let's see. This one's got some really cool banding pattern to it. Yeah, I really like this one. So into the bin it goes. Yeah, there are rocks more expensive than gold. I mean, if you found like diamond or sapphire, or I'm sure it's more expensive. So here's some more quartz. So these were all, the quartz rocks hadn't been in here before, so all of them were pretty rough. So they were always going to need another week, even if I hadn't made my mistake. Metals are cool. There's some rocks that have like copper bits in them that are really neat that I've seen from other places. Yeah, so put that over there. All right, good luck, potato. This one's got some neat lines running through it. Oh, thanks. Hope I see you next time. Let's see. So this blue one, it was doing pretty well, but it cracked. Oh, well, that's sad. All right, great. So here's one. It's pretty good. So this side is still kind of porous material that's kind of sandy and grainy and wearing away slowly but surely. Let's see. This one's some more. It's a lot darker. I was expecting some of these quartz to be more transparent, but this one's not very. Let's see. Ooh. So we've got some banding here. It's really pretty. Hey, Patty. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, this one's going to be really nice when it's done. I may move it along even though it still has this crevice just because it's small. I don't want to get too small. Ooh, so here's a neat piece of quartz. Let's see, it's got some probably iron staining running through it. Hi, Fidel. That's pretty cool. Let's see. This one's coming along. So this one's been in here a while. It's Death, you're finally here. So this one's okay. It's got this really cool like galaxy look to it. How's your day going, Death? Yeah, that's fine. I'm just glad you came. Always nice to see someone again. Sorry about that. So, put some water in there just to make sure the grit doesn't dry into like a cement. Hey, Dom. So I am looking at rocks that have been tumbling in a rock tumbler for a week. I made a mistake this week and forgot to put water in it. So these are all still very messy. So like this one. So the grit normally doesn't stick to it like this. It's turned into like a cement almost. It'll come off. I'll just have to wash them outside. This is a piece of quartz that I put in. Can you use Dremel? Yeah, you can. I use a Dremel to... I don't know when the next one will be. I'm always here on Saturdays right around 11. So yeah, you can use a Dremel, which is what I do when I want to make a necklace and need to like drill a hole. I use a Dremel. Here's an... let's see. Yeah, so next live, I might be live later this weekend, but certainly I'll be here on Saturday. I'll try and post it in advance. So here's a piece of chert that's got some really interesting lines running through it. It's a much different color than normal. Like I often see rocks that have lines running through them, but normally it's like a red line. All right. Sorry, just looking something up real quick. So we've got this one. This one I'm going to spend some time cleaning just because it looked like it might be a really cool piece of quartz. So you want it to be a rock that's hard enough that it will polish. So some rocks just kind of turn into sand, basically. So all of these I found. So the chert is all from here in Rockingham County, Virginia. I haven't cut the petrified wood. So the quartz is from Bethesda, Maryland. The best one from the tray, which tray? The one I'm working in right now? Or this tray of the ones that I've gone through already. So the best one, and you've seen this one probably last week, Death. So it's still kind of dirty, but this one that I've been working on, so it's coming along really well. No real new cracks or anything. Let's see, so this one, hoping will be really cool when it's done. It's just really big and has a bunch of spots that still need a little more time in the tumbler. Let's see. Yeah, that's probably the best one that we've seen so far today. So I'm going through a bunch of rocks that I've been tumbling and looking to see which ones are ready to move on. So this one's really neat. So this is what I usually see with chert that has lines. So it'll be like a red line, or this one's almost a purple. But this one still has holes that I'm hoping will smooth out a bit. So that'll get another week. This one feels like it might be ready. It's kind of a neat little rock. That's all right. You don't have to like it, Dot. It's not for everyone. Let's see. So this one's coming along. It's got some weird color pattern. Yeah, it's still got some crevices. Judy Dominics. Yes, I remember you, Judy. I recognize the name. Hope you're having a good weekend. All right, so this one's got some really cool, this side is really neat. So I hadn't seen much of this until recently. So this is Chert. Yeah, I live in Virginia. Hey, Sarah. I think, were you here last week? All right, see you, Jay, Somerville. But this is really cool because it's got these little bits of quartz in it, and I don't see that around here very often. It's not something I'm used to seeing. Oh, cool. And then here, this is not quartz. I don't know what this is. This is pretty cool. This one I got in Bethesda, Maryland area as well. It's got this kind of cloud to it, look to it. Ooh. Ooh, pink quartz is cool. So this one's got some really cool colors. Hello from Virginia. All right, see you later, Death. Yeah, that black one was really neat. Let's see if we can get these cleaned off a bit. Just moving them around. So here's one. Thanks, Judy. So I really like these colors. I like that we've got that normal, like generic dark chert color, but then it bleeds into this red. It's pretty cool. And this one's got some spots that still need work, unfortunately, but most of it's really good. This might be one that I'm put in like a small tumbler just for a few days to try and smooth out some spots without losing too much. Let's see. Yeah, so here we've got another one that's got this very porous, grainy area. So this area is very grainy. It needs to grind away. This area is pretty good. It's not quite ready on this side. So this side on the right. This left side needs a lot more work. So I'll put it back in. Let's see. Ooh, here's a really good one. So this one could probably use another week just because it's got like spots like this that are not done. But it has really cool colors. It's like a very dark purple, I guess, almost. Yeah, that one's gonna be really exciting to see. Hello. Hope you're having a good weekend. Here's some more. Let's see. This is a neat color. So you can see there's still some tiny holes where stuff is stuck, but this one will definitely polish really well eventually. I'm gonna do one more week with it. I think all these are gonna get one more week just because I messed up this last week with them. But let's see. So here's a neat quartz. Your lover was a snake? What happened? Yeah, so this is quartz again from Bethesda. go. This one's just about ready, or as close to ready as it'll ever be. All right. Ooh. So this is one. Ufi Saiktanub. Did I pronounce that right? And I've noticed you, man. How's it going? So this is pretty cool. Usually about an hour. This time it's going to take a lot longer because I'm having a lot more trouble moving through these because they're covered in that like cemented on grit. Ooh, Pretty Little Liar. I watched the first season of the new Pretty Little Liar on HBO. I haven't seen this new season that just came out. Brazil has a lot of really pretty rocks. It's definitely the sort of place that I'd love to buy some someday and have them shipped up. So this one's going to be really cool once it's done. But it's not done. Are you two talking to each other? On purpose? Let's see. This is very messy this week. So what am I doing? So I have been tumbling these rocks. Some of them have been in here as long as 10 weeks. So I fill up a tumbler, like a big rubber barrel every week with rocks. Add some grit and some water, and it slowly shapes them, and then I polish them once I like the shape. So this one has been in here quite a while, but it actually looks a lot better than it used to. My favorite rock. So I really like, I love chert with all the different patterns, but oh, that's really cool. I'm glad Google Translate's helping. Yeah, I don't know that I have a favorite rock. This one's pretty neat. So this is one. So this side was real grody last week. This area here still needs more time in the tumbler, but for the most part, it's made a lot of progress. I'm definitely happy with how this one's doing. Yes, so in the end, the rocks will be shiny. Here, let me dry my hands off and find some. So these are mostly chert that I'm looking at. So right now they're wet, which is why they are shiny. But this is what polished chert ends up looking like. So like this piece, or a lot of my favorites look kind of like this. And sometimes it'll have these really cool like spider web patterns. But yeah, you can do it with all sorts of rocks. You can do it with quartz. You can try doing it with granite, but it doesn't always work out. This granite has it's a mixture usually of a few different minerals or types of rocks. And different rocks have different levels of hardness. So with granite, you won't always get a smooth side. Some parts will wear away faster than others. So this is a piece of quartz that's still cemented in. So I'll come back to that one maybe. Ooh, this one's just about done. I'm really surprised with how well these continued to shape even without water. So this one, I love the side that is actually smooth. I hate this side that is not smoothing out because it's taking too long. I I might take this to my saw and just cut off this ugly bit so that I can move it along. Ooh. There's some color. 6 cups of granulated sugar, add more as needed. 2 cups of water. 2 to 3 drops of food coloring. Well, this is a little tiny one that cracked. Let's see. These quartz are eventually gonna clean off, I promise. This one looks pretty cool. There we go. Let's clean it off a little better. Okay. So I started collecting rocks. During COVID, we got a dog, and I would take him on walks, and he would do this thing where he just kind of like stop and smell plants and stuff. And so I started picking up rocks while he would smell plants or, do whatever it is dogs do while they're on walks. It kind of gave me something to do while I took him out on walks, and I've been doing it ever since. It's been a couple years now. This one's pretty cool. This side still needs work. Ooh, I don't know what I would do with a rock that had garnet embedded in it. I would need to probably look up the best thing to do to extract the garnet. This one's nice, but it cracked. The cracks probably, some of these cracked probably because it didn't have the water this week to cushion it like it's supposed to. Ooh, this one's actually coming along really well. So it's got that neat reddish purple, some lines and patterns. Over here on the back, it's pretty cool. All right, let's see. I'm gonna dump out this dirty water and put some clean water in. Maybe that will help. So, immediately got back to being dirty, but hopefully it's not as dirty as it was a minute ago. Ooh. Yeah, I wouldn't drink this water. It's not safe. This is pretty cool. Let's see. Ooh, this one still needs some work down there, but look at those reds and blues and little white specks. It's pretty. This is one I can't wait to see what it looks like when it's finished. So some quartz again. No, surely you're not 10 and 11. Let's see. We've got some more red. That one person's child. Hello. This side is still dirty. Oh, well, thank you, Lachlan. Yeah, so put that one in there. Let's see. And this one's okay. Looks more like quartz than chert, though. Ooh, some really nice banding. Ooh, especially right in there. That's pretty nice. Let's see. Ooh, here's another one with a nice banding. Yeah, that's really cool. All right. Ooh. So I'm not sure. This one broke. Oh, well, thank you. But it's pretty cool. What do you guys think? So here's some more quartz. This one's not getting clean like I wanted it to, but I'll have to take these all outside and just rinse them with my hose. Yeah, this is a pretty cool piece of quartz, at least. Oh, this one broke. Oh well. Thank you, Fat Corn, I think. So if it's like a river rock that has already been kind of shaped, it might take a few weeks total, maybe just 1 or 2 weeks in the rough grit and then some time in the next stages. So I use like an 80 grit, 220 grit, 600 grit, and then polish. If it's a rock that was really rough to begin with, it might take weeks and weeks and weeks in the rough grit. Some of these have been in here like 10 weeks. Oh, really? And they're still not ready. So it really depends on the rock and how close to being ready it is when I first start tumbling. So here's a piece of quartz. Ooh, I wonder what that is. Oh, there's just something stuck to it. Okay. Hi, Loner Stoner. So here, this one's got so many cracks, I'll still polish it, but I doubt it'll be super pretty. But it'll be neat to see over time how it turned out. This is just like a ball. I wonder what that is. Let's see. So this one's got some really cool banding. It looks like it broke off from something else. So that's going to need some more time. Let's see. Yuck. Ooh, so this side's pretty. All right. Yeah, I like that one. It's pretty cool. Let's see. Yeah, so this one broke off of another rock. I recognize it. Ooh, we've got some banding there, but it's pretty small. All right, this is neat. So it's like a red. I wonder if this, no, it's not quartz. I think it is chert. Ooh. So aside from this little piece that's cemented to it, this is a neat little quartz. Hey, silver tongues. Here's some chert. Yes, you can tumble glass. So you don't tumble it for nearly as long because it's quite a bit softer than a rock. And you'd want to tumble it either just glass by itself or maybe with like ceramic pellets to keep it from cracking. When you're tumbling stuff, you always want to tumble things that have a similar hardness. But yeah, you can make like polished beach glass. This is cool. Yeah, as a kid, I always wanted a rock tumbler, and for whatever reason, I never got one. I don't know why. I don't know if I just didn't really ask or what, but there's a neat little red shirt. I want to know what's underneath this. It's taking forever to dissolve away this grit. Ugh. Yeah, this is quartz. Ooh, here's another neat piece. There we go. Ah! This one's cool. All right. Well, I'm about done going through these rocks that I've been polishing this week. So maybe we'll look at, am I American or British? I am American. Let's look at some rocks that are already finished. So, since I've got a bunch of you seem interested. All right. So this is all milky quartz that has like neat little patterns. So, where do we want to start? I like this one. Yeah. So milky quartz is just like boring white quartz. And I say boring because there's a lot of it. But these are pretty cool. So this I find a lot of in my neighborhood. It's usually milky. But I've been meaning to dump this in with the rest. So over in Charlottesville, on the other side of the Blue Ridge Mountains, it tends to be a little bit less milky and have more interesting little patterns to it. This is very milky. Milky just means like white instead of clear crystal or clear quartz. Like this is one of my favorites. Let's see, there we go. And so the red is all just from iron staining. But it's got this cool little shimmer when you turn it. So I always love that. So this is probably the clearest quartz that I've found in a while. Let's see, here we've got, so this is unfortunately very fractured, but this is some smoky quartz. This came from Fairfax County here in Virginia. Yeah, so you can kind of see Well, not really. It's mica that's causing that shadowy dark color. So quartz, if it's like pure quartz, like there are no imperfections or impurities in it, will be a clear color. I don't know what causes the white. I suspect it's just fractures. The red is, locally at least, red is almost always going to be caused by iron. The dirt in the area is very high iron content. The little things that catch the light, usually there might be something else in there. It might just be little fractures in the quartz that are catching the light. But then amethyst is also a type of quartz. I don't know what causes the purple, but it's just a question of, you know, what else is in the quartz. There's a little teeny tiny bit of like green there. Sometimes, let's see, I have some that's even more green than that. Let's see. So here's some quartz and epidote. So the green here is caused by epidote. Sometimes green in the area is serpentine, but this is not serpentine. And then, no, I have more. Oh, here it is. So I showed one of these earlier towards the beginning. But so this is a really neat piece. It's milky quartz. The blue is metabasalt, and then the greens and the yellow-green is epidote. Then here is a piece of quartz. I don't quite know what's causing the green. I assume it's epidote. But yeah, this one has a nice, like, smooth green pattern that runs through it. There's also, I haven't found very much, and it's not very good quality, but quartz can be blue. So this one has all sorts of fractures running through it, but it's, they're called the Blue Ridge Mountains in part because it's a lot of blue quartz. You can find it supposedly out in Albemarle County, Virginia, but I don't have very much. That's kind of on my summer bucket list, is trying to find more blue quartz. Let's see, any more fun pieces here. This one has some neat little like striations. Hi, Allie. Hi, Harold. Here's a pretty clean one. Fortunately, this one has a lot of fracturing. So is this rare? No, these rocks you just find, these are just pretty generic rocks that you can find on the ground around here where I live. They're not particularly rare, but they're still fun to collect. And then I cut them and shape them and everything. Let's see. So I've got a bunch over here. The flat red disc near the top. Don't know what you were talking about there. Like this one's one of my favorites of those red quartz. Do I have geodes? Not down here with me. So these are all rocks that I've cut for the most part and shaped and everything. Like this one's kind of cool. Here is a piece of chert. This is one of my favorites. I cut it maybe 2 weeks ago and made a video about it if you want to watch. So it's got these cool, let's see, along here. So you can see little bits of like sparkles. That's quartz, which was totally unexpected. Let's see, oh, this one broke. Oh well, I have to throw it somewhere. Tumble it. So, I always like Chert. I think it turns out really well. So it takes a really nice shine. Oh, someone asked earlier about pink. So here's some rose quartz that I purchased. Let's see. And these three all came from the same rock. Just shaped them differently. Actually, I think I have a video of me shaping them. This is not technically from a rock. It's these old coal furnaces, or not coal, iron ore furnaces that we had here in Virginia. This was like leftover byproduct. Tiger's eye, I might have some somewhere, but I don't think I have any here right now. Here's another neat green piece. So these mostly come from Rockingham County, Virginia, or nearby. Some are Nelson County, some are Albemarle, some are Fairfax. So it's mostly the western and central part of Virginia, so not near a beach. Let's see. Some, like this one, I just purchased a rock and cut it and shaped it. So this was a neat little piece of serpentine that I found. So semi-precious stones, usually people are thinking of things like serpentine or, oh, I don't know what else. Some can be quartz. This is a type of granite, granitoid. Let's see. So here's a better piece of blue quartz. And by better, it's still not great. I like this one. Tony Hinchcliffe, who's that? Google what we're even talking about. Tony Hinchcliffe. American comedian. Huh. No, I'm not Tony Hinchcliffe. Hi, Judy. Thanks for sticking around for so long. All right. Probably just got another couple minutes here. So here's one I got in Albemarle. Has this cool little, I don't know what that is, but I like it. This little speck that shimmers. And this is a really ugly piece of quartz. And some more epidote. Some sort of black rock. So earlier someone asked what I do with these. So here's one that I drilled a hole in so that you could make a pendant out of it. There we go. So this one's pretty new. Ah, here we go. Here's a quartz. Well, that's about all for me. I'm all talked out for the day. But thank you guys for watching for so long and sticking around. I'm probably gonna go clean up those rocks. Until next time. Bye, Karen. And I'll see all of you next Saturday at 11.